Bonjour à tous, donc je suis ici en compagnie d'Holly Holm à Albuquerque chez Greg Jackson. Thank you very much, Holly, for this interview.
Thank you so much for having me and taking the time.
So, Holly, can you present yourself for the French MMA fans?
My name's just who I am. Okay.
Yeah, and your background, you know.
Okay. Well, I'm Holly Holm. I started fighting when I was 18. I had my first amateur fight when I was 20. I started pro and fought boxing professionally for 12 years. In that time, I had a couple of MMA fights, and now I'm just doing full-time MMA. I retired my boxing last May of last year, so I'm just looking forward to my next fight. I just signed with the UFC, and I have my first fight coming up December 6th.
So you won many titles in boxing. Is today boxing helping you a lot for MMA?
You know, I think it obviously gives me, you know, a lot of knowledge and ring experience through the fights that I've had. You know, I fought at a lot of different weights in boxing. I have titles at 140, 147, and 154. I'm fighting MMA at 135. So, and then I think, man, I should have fought at 135 in boxing. That would have been cool. But, you know, just kind of the footwork, the angles, and a lot of that still come over into MMA. Of course, you can't just sit there and be comfortable in the pocket doing inside boxing. Somebody's going to take you down or hold on to you in the clinch. So there's definite things that I felt comfortable with in boxing that I've had to let go of, you know, for MMA. But other than that, you know, most of the boxing's still across the board the same, just having to change a few things up with the range.
And for how long have you been training here at Greg Jackson's Academy?
I've known Greg since I was 16, and even though I didn't do MMA all those years, I have trained out of the same gym. I trained out of this gym for boxing all these years. Same teammates, they would just box with me, sacrifice around just to box and not kickbox with me. So I've known him my whole life, and he's helped me with my boxing career as well as, you know, obviously coming into my MMA career.
I remember this video when you were sparring with John Jones. Do you used to spar with the guys?
Yeah, I spar with guys all the time. We have a girls team here. A lot of the girls are a lot smaller than me, so I really try to get some time in with the guys as well. You know, one of my main sparring partners before was Julie Kedzie, and she moved. So, I mean, I miss her as a friend, number one, and number two, I miss her as a training partner as well. And then a lot of times, even with the guys bigger, you know, we'll do light sparring just for movement. Some of the guys even like to move with me because I'm a lefty, just to get more of a natural movement, because I am more of that style of a fighter. So sometimes they'll work with me with that, you know, and they don't ever try and knock me out. So, I mean, am I their main sparring partner? No, you know, they need to have guys their size. But we all work together here.
Are you excited now to fight for the UFC?
Absolutely. I'm nervous, anxious, excited. I feel like there's a lot of pressure, and I don't want to be a letdown, you know, because there's a lot of hype around it. But I just need to use that as focus in a good way and stay positive and stay just focused on my next fight and just not get too distracted by all the hype.
And when is your next fight?
December 6th, it'll be in Las Vegas against Raquel Pennington. It's going to be, I mean, we're in training camp now, you know, it's the deadline is here, so I'm getting excited.
Is she more doing grappling or boxing, your opponent?
You know, I feel like she's a really tough girl, and she's strong, and she's pretty, you know, has a little bit of a threat on everything. Maybe not one thing is the one exceptional thing we're looking for. I feel like she's going to just be, you know, a little bit of a threat everywhere. So I think a very well-rounded game is going to be what she's going to come with.
And what are your picks for the next fight between Ronda and Kat Zingano?
You know, I think it's going to be a really good fight. I really hate to put too much of a, you know, prediction on it, but Ronda's just really hard to beat right now. I think she's mentally strong as well. She's been on a streak, finishing with, you know, ground game and with, you know, stand-up. So I feel like she's going to be hard to beat. Kat Zingano's a, you know, vet of the sport, though, so you can never count her out, you know.
One word about Cris Cyborg? Cris Cyborg?
Oh, you know, I like to watch her fight, and you know, I'm a fan of hers. I hope to be able to see her fight in the UFC. I hope to be able to see more of her and more exposure of her. You know, I like that she brings a whole different look into the sport, and I think she's a very tough girl.
And what kind of hobbies do you like to do when you don't train and when you don't compete?
You know, I like to do like small woodworking and painting, and I quilt a little bit, and I like to snowboard and hike or just hang out with friends. You know, I like to cook. I like to hang out in the backyard. I mean, I like to travel. We travel a lot, my husband and I do. So, you know, I pretty much stay busy with something.
Have you been already in Europe?
I have. I have been one time. I got to go to Italy, and I went to just Rome and Florence. My cousin had a timeshare there, and she said, if you buy a plane flight, you can just stay with me for free. And so I had a fight, actually. She was already there, and I told her I will fly out the morning after my fight. So I didn't have as much time as I wanted. I had about 8 days, and I didn't want to spend every day traveling on the train to somewhere else. So I spent half the time in Rome, half the time in Florence, and I loved it. I made a lot of local friends there, and it was so fun. I loved it.
Beautiful cities.
It's beautiful. I loved it. Loved it.
Thank you so much, Holly. We wish you the best for your career.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks.